Welcome to the Unity of Olympia podcast.
Well, I'm resolved to evolve. You know, that's one of our values here at Unity of Olympia is spiritual evolution, that we truly value the ability to learn both educationally through the mind and then also experientially, right? And that we are each other's teachers and students, every single one of us. This is the fourth week, as I mentioned earlier, in this 6-week series, and I'm just going to do a quick review of where we've been. The first week was about asking, what are the gifts, the spiritual gifts that I have within? So I really appreciated Kathy telling us that hers is to shine a light. Man, that's beautiful. I hope that all of you have at least identified one gift. The second week was asking what gets in the way. What gets in the way of shining that light, that sharing that gift? The third week is how do my gifts match the needs in the world around me? And whether that's the person next door or people in this room or the wider world, wherever that is, perhaps Unity Commons. Today, we're going to begin the exploration of a new practice that bring all of these together in a simple and meaningful way. So I think that I told you all that I'm here in presenting this particular lesson to shift our consciousness as a community around service. Do y'all remember me saying that? Okay. Remember when we were in the other building? Some of you remember when we were in the other building and we'd show up in the morning, those of us who were welcomers or hospitality people or all those different groups, and we stood in a circle and we said a prayer. We're going to start doing that again, but it's going to be a different kind of prayer practice. So today I'm going to talk about that. I don't want to say that. There are no wrong answers to this question. You get to throw out your own answers, because there really is no wrong answer. What qualifies as prayer? Singing. Stillness, crying. Crying, beautiful, beautiful. Walking. Surrender. Rocking in a lazy boy with your coffee first thing in the morning and the daily word. That's my daily practice. Prayer, centering activities, meditation, breathing meditations, body work. All of these are prayer if we bring our attention to them. So what's the point or the goal of prayer? It's okay, you can, why do you do it? To feel centered, to receive, to be mindful, to wake up, to stay present. To activate your own light. Okay, good job. Anybody else have something different? To align with the more that is within. Excellent. This is from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. And don't worry, it was written in 1930 or something. I'll rephrase it after we're done. To one in understanding of truth, prayer is an affirmation of that which is in being. Then, why the necessity of prayer or affirmation if the desired condition already is? in order that the creative law of the word may be fulfilled, we must pray. All things in God are potentialities. It is, forgive this, man's share in the creative process to bring the unmanifest to manifestation. Everybody should pray. Those are words from Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, and of course, please forgive the masculine ownership of the language. But for our purposes here today, prayer is any activity that brings conscious, intentional alignment so that we are in agreement with good, or that which we call God. For those who believe that life is sacred, that each of us is valuable and has something to share with the world, prayer is an affirmation of that truth. So then he says, why is it necessary to pray if that's already true? It's easy to see life as sacred and holy, and maybe a challenge to see your life as godly, to see your own interior life as the divine in expression as you. That's what the Christ principle is about. It wasn't about Jesus specifically. It was about each of us. When I say you are the divine, you are the Christ, you are the Buddha nature in you, that Christ principle is in all humanity. Jesus said, that which I do, you can do these things and even greater, right? Some of you, yeah. So if we can't see it, we may have challenges in being that wholeness. All things are in God as potentialities, right? So within us, that godness, that goodness, is a potentiality until we're able to name it, claim it, and start practicing being it in the world, right? That's what prayer is for. Now, that's the unity teaching of prayer. If you're one of those that asks, like me, that looks up to the ceiling and says, oh God, why is it like this? On occasion. Or power and presence that lives around me. I'm open to you changing this. Those are prayers too. And I'm not so certain that they don't have power for us. So, unlike many of my cohorts in Unity Ministry, there's no wrong way to pray. They're not going to take my ordination away. So prayer is affirming our goodness. It grows us into a greater expression of goodness. So this new practice, based on the work that we've been doing, is a 6-step practice. First, we set an intention. Why are we here? We offer the activity that we're doing to something greater. We choose a quality or spiritual gift that we want to bring present into this activity. And then we are present, awake, mindful to any inner resistance that might show up. We make a dedication of this time of service. And then we reflect back on our experience when the service is over, right? So I'm going to go through it much more slowly. You don't have to know what it is yet. But this is about exploring something greater both within us as individuals and as a community. So, our goal is to be a blessing to one another, to ourselves, and to the community, to the new people that walk in the door. To be that blessing. The first step in all prayer practices, I think, maybe you do this, maybe you don't, is to center, to wake up, to be present to where we are right this minute. What's going on right this next minute, what's to come, what did I leave behind, right? It's about waking up. And then the first step in this 6-step process is to ask, what's my intention? What am I doing this service for? So I invite you to go ahead and think about the service that you offer. I know every single one of you are in service in some way in the world, whether it's, one of these people that stood up here or not. Why are you doing it? Is it because it's my job? Am I looking for an atta girl? An ego boost? It's the opportunity to remember why and engage in your own why. I do this because it grows me spiritually and emotionally. I do this because I want to share my experience with others. I believe that we can have lives of freedom and joy, and that these practices and teachings can help us get there. The second step, we're only going to cover 3 today, and then you'll get to practice a little bit. The second step is to offer this service activity to something greater. Now, the instructions say to activate gratitude as we do this, but I found that I already felt grateful just by clarifying my why. Right? It's easy to think, okay, this is my job, I got to go to work. But I'm doing it to have spiritual growth, right? I'm moved immediately into gratitude. So in that experience of gratitude then, what's the something greater or the grander ideal, or perhaps the source that you would be willing to offer this activity to? Dr. Reverend James Simmons says this time could be devoted to the time of service, devoting the time of service to become a greater instrument of love, or participating in the collective evolutionary transformation of the human family, or being in service to a revered spiritual leader or teacher, or just to offering it up to coming into greater communion with a higher power. She says, whatever you choose to devote your time to, make it something or someone that inspires, excites, motivates, opens your heart to the sacredness of taking mindful, authentic action in service of something greater. Be sure and take your time with this step and sink deeply into the feeling of gratitude and devotion. She says, you are leaving your energetic fingerprints behind. Now, once I remembered why I'm doing this whole ministry gig, I know that I'm offering this time on Sunday mornings to one of our community's stated values: evolutionary spirituality. I do not buy into the idea that we're grown up at 20 or 22 or 24 or 25 or 60 or 62 or 64. We have an unlimited potential for personal development, for emotional and spiritual experience and development. It doesn't ever have to stop. It's one of the most exciting things that we can do to be a part of life. I see hands going, whoop. Can I get an amen, sister? Amen. This growth of the individual spirit is what impacts the world for good. The third step, then, is to choose one of our own spiritual gifts that we are willing to bring to the practice and to bring it intentionally. So that's the one that comes from our first week of the class, right? Remember that, where we wrote down what our spiritual gifts were. The one I choose to bring this morning, joy. I've come here to be joyful. It wasn't on my list. When I was making my list of what my personal attributes are, what the godly stuff within me to share with other people is, but I recognized it when I saw it in today's daily word. And I recognized that that actually is part of my enthusiasm, my zeal, my power of zeal that is part of the 12 powers, right? Joy, it's there. And so it's about exploring something greater, right? Because I wouldn't have put joy on my list. But then from the daily word, I was able to recognize that is mine too. That's mine to share with you. So I'm exploring how it feels to be with you and to share this lesson with you, knowing I'm doing it. Because I believe these tools can work to bring about lives of freedom and joy. That's my why. I'm grateful to be a part of this community, and I offer this time of service up to the evolution of humanity, the evolution of our spiritual lives. And I am joyful. The affirmation today, joy fills my heart and warms my soul. Together, joy fills my heart and warms my soul. Ooh, anybody else have joy as one of their spiritual gifts? Yes, yes. So you can use the daily word to figure out what you want to express into the world. You can use the 12 powers. I'm going to read the 12 powers to you. Faith, love, strength, imagination, power, will, wisdom, understanding, zeal, order, release, and life. Memory is not in the 12 powers. Whew. I read the names of the 12 powers every time, unless I'm just going to tell you 3 of them, because I can think of 3 of them without any trouble. But any one of these can be expressed. And the more we practice, the better we get at it. In March, we have the honor of, we honor the power of strength. Strength is the power of sticking to something, staying committed, being there for the long haul. And we usually pair up the 12 powers, right? So with strength, we might pair up faith. Sticking with that faith. Sticking with the awareness that we are here to grow and to be a blessing and to share that light that is the truth of who we are, to wake up and to grow it and then show up in the world. The strong man at a circus squeezed the juice from a lemon in his hands. And then he looked around and he said, I'll give anyone who can squeeze one more drop out of this lemon $200. A hand went up. The lady came up front and she squeezed and one drop came out. The strong man was amazed. He looked at the woman, he paid her, and he said, what is the secret of your strength? And she says, I was the treasurer at my church for 12 years. Amen. But her strength was to maintain faith in the abundance of her community to meet their needs, right? Strength and faith go together. The invitation here is to be conscious. It's not that you're not shining that light accidentally, right? It's natural to who you are, but it's about doing it consciously. And then what we're going to do come May, after this series is over and after Easter is over, is we're going to practice these where we had done our prayer in the morning before service, we're going to start practicing these steps. We'll do it downstairs and upstairs, and I've invited all of our service team leaders, if they gather with their members, to do it with them too. So those are just the first 3 steps. I recently read these words in an email from Unity Worldwide Ministries. As we navigate through these changing times, we are reminded of our spiritual responsibility to remain centered and grounded. Amid uncertainty, we know it is our dedication to prayer and our commitment to living with intention that will guide us. Who we choose to be in this moment, our thoughts, our actions, and our energy will determine our capacity to help transform the world around us. Together, through prayer, compassion, and faith, we have the power to shape a future filled with hope, love, and unity. We, as a community, a unity community, are exploring something greater than what is right now. Unity of Olympia is about spiritual evolution. This is a practice of waking up, growing up, showing up, cleaning up. We'll get to that next week. Because everybody loves to deal with stuff that comes up in the resistance, right? So don't come if you don't want to. Oh, wait a minute. Just the other way around. Huh. If you don't want to, you're the ones. So if you're new to Unity, I invite you to join us. If you're not new to Unity of Olympia, I invite you to join us. Let's live with conscious awareness of our oneness with each other and the planet and the sacred experience of the divine. So I'm going to invite you to try these first 3 steps together right now. Ask yourself, what's my intention in being here? What's my why? Right? And then choose something to offer this time together up to something greater, like maybe the proliferation of love and peace. Whatever you want to give this experience to, let's offer that up. And then choose the spiritual gift that you already have within you, that you want to share with others. We are exploring something greater. Let us co-create a world that's powerfully transformed through the spiritual awakening of ourselves and all others. Like the song says, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.